Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 370th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just to say that this battle was fought only last night, the 22nd of February 2019. As I say, this is a brand new battle. The ink hasn't even dried on the page, if you like. As you can see here, it was hosted on a custom map by Brotherhood member Crypto. Okay, our first teammate is Legion 22, who has bought the Carthage faction. I think he's got something like 15 spear units there, 15 sacred band spear units. Have a look at the upgrades. Okay, if you notice here down this end of his battle line, he's just got 6 upgrades, so that's gold shield, gold attack. But if we look at the other part of his battle line there, you'll see he's got 8 upgrades. So that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So he's got mixed upgrades on his infantry. My guess is that his lesser upgraded infantry will be at the front to make the first contact. He's got 3 Balearic slingers, and he's got 2 fast-moving general armoured bodyguard units that I'm thinking that he'll probably use on enemy archers. So that's a pretty good army there. It'd be interesting to see how well he does. But if you notice, he's got no sacred band heavy cavalry, just those 2 fast-moving general armoured units. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who has unusually bought the Carthage faction as well. And he's got 12 sacred band spear units. Let's have a look at the upgrades. As you can see, he's got 8 upgrades. So he's got 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his spear units there, which make those already elite troops even more elite there with those upgrades. He's got, I think, 4 Balearic slingers. Remember, Balearic slingers got quite a good range and always seems to have a lot of ammunition. I think he's got 4 sacred band cavalry units. Just have a look at the upgrades. Okay, so he's just got gold shield, gold attack upgrades on his sacred band cavalry. Okay, so that's a pretty good rounded army there, I think. Be interested to see how well that does. Okay, our third teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has also bought the Carthage faction. I think I've got something like 14 spear units there. And I think I've got 3 Balearic slingers there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I've got the upgrades. If you look at the upgrades on my sacred band spear units, I've got 7 upgrades. So I've got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Let's say 3 Balearic slingers, and I've got only 3 sacred band cavalry. If we have a look at the upgrades on that cavalry, you'll see that each cavalry unit has got 8 upgrades. So they've got an experience stripe, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So there's only 3 of them, but with those upgrades, they've got a bit of a bite to them as well. So it'd be interesting to see how that old Carthage army of mine does. As you notice, all 3 of us with Carthage armies there, unusual. And our fourth teammate is the host of this battle, and that is Brotherhood member Crypto, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. I think there he's got 12 heavy infantry, and I think he's got 2 archer units there. Yeah, 12 infantry and 2 archer units, and he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And he's got 7 upgrades. So he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So there's our team there. Between us, we've got years and years of experience on RTW. But you wait till you see the other team and the other team's army. This should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have RTW player Scorpion King SR. A lot of you will know Scorpion King SR. He's been playing Rome Total War since it first came out. And he's a very aggressive attacking player. Retreat, defense is not really in his vocabulary. He always likes to take the battle to the enemy. Okay, if you notice here, he's got 5 archers there. And he's got 6 heavy cavalry. But if we have a look at his heavy cavalry there, you can see that he's got 4 of the cataphract cavalry. Remember, we call those the tanks of the ancient world, and he's got 8 upgrades on them. So he's got 2 experience striped, gold shield, gold attack on those cataphract cavalry. As I say, he's got 4 of them, including his general. Remember, we call them the tanks of the ancient world because they're armored from head to toe, and used correctly, they can be battle winning troops. Also, he's got 2 other heavy cavalry units there, which are companion cavalry. Have a look at the upgrades on those. You can see he's got 8 upgrades on those 2. So that's 2 experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Remember, these are sometimes called the winged horsemen because of the wing kind of thing on their helmets there. So that's an interesting combination there. And I see he's got his archers and cavalry set out there, ready to attack. It wouldn't surprise me right at the beginning of the battle if he started to attack the enemy army opposite him, because that's his way, very aggressive. Let's have a look at his infantry. I see he's got 3 silver shield spear units there, and I see he's got 6 upgrades on them. So he's just got gold shield, gold attack on them, and then he's got 7 silver shield legionnaire units. And I think if I see the upgrades, yeah, he's got 7 upgrades on his legionnaire units. So he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on those legionnaire units there. So obviously his pike units there will be the ones that's going to soak up any pilers or make the first contact. Okay, their second teammate is Brotherhood member Mad King, who has bought the Brutii faction. I think he's got 11 infantry. If you notice, he's got a legionary first cohort eagle unit there with his infantry. So if you notice, can you see there saying happy to be near a command unit? So he's giving like kind of the general morale bonus to his troops there with that eagle unit. Well, he can use his general elsewhere. And if you notice here, he's got his general with his cavalry. He's got 6 cavalry there. So have a look at the upgrades. Okay, so his general, if you notice, got 9 upgrades. So that is a fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry unit. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now that makes that unit incredibly difficult to kill and really strong. And I see the other cavalry units he's got, it's got 8 upgrades on. So he's got 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on the rest of his cavalry. Now those cavalry units backed up with that general unit, giving them general morale bonus, makes those cavalry incredibly strong. And that could be battle-winning troops if used correctly. It'd be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. Their third teammate is Brotherhood member Trajan, who's bought the Greek cities faction. Just draw your attention here, he's got armoured hoplites at the front of his battle formation there. I see they've got 7 upgrades on, so he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. I see he's got 8 Spartan units just behind those armoured hoplites there. But also he's got 3 Spartan units at the back of his Cretan archers. Okay, so and you notice there he's got 5 Cretan archers, but the reason he set up those Spartans at the back behind them is because this is a defense formation to protect his archers the best he can. If cavalry try to go around the rear or come around the flanks to get his archers, he can deploy those 3 Spartan units at the back to try and defend those archers there. So that's why he's put those Spartans at the back in thinking of defending his archers. So nice formation there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Bark, who's bought the Macedon faction. I think he's got something like 11 units there. Maybe 12 units. His first battle line, if you notice, has just got 6 upgrades on. Just gold shield, gold attack. But if you go further back into his battle formation, you can see his more elite troops have got 8 upgrades. So that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So his lesser upgraded troops will take any pilers and will make the first contact with the enemy. But if the enemy manage to penetrate those units there, they then go through into his elite infantry. So that's a nice battle formation setup there that he's done. And look at the length of those pikes. Remember, the enemy troops have to fight all the way down those long pikes to kill the man on the other end. Okay, and let's see what he's got. He's got, I think it's 6 cavalry. He just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry, on his companion cavalry there. As I say, he got, 5 units, and he's got 3 units of Cretan archers. So there's the enemy team. Look pretty good to me. This should be a great one for you to watch. Okay, as we said earlier, Scorpion King SR is a very attacking, aggressive player. He loves to grab the initiative by the scruff of the neck and run with it. He likes taking the battle to the enemy and kind of making the enemy dance to his tune. Now, can you see here how he's moving his 5 archer units forward, backed up by his heavy cavalry here, looking to try and harass and harangue the enemy troops as they move over towards the rest of their allies there. Unfortunately for him, the Seleucid archers are all short range, so he has to get quite close before he can start shooting his arrows. But he's still being very aggressive with him. See how he's moving his cavalry and archers forward there. Probably looking to target those general armoured units there. I noticed Legion just walking those units back. He may well be looking for a chance to maybe turn and take on those archers there. But I think when those cavalry, those heavy cavalry back up there, I think he's just doing a wise thing there and moving out of the way. But as I say here, Scorpion King, those of you that known him over the years, you'll know he's always a very aggressive attacking player. Not one for defence, always one for attack. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say here, you can see he's moving forward with his heavy cavalry and archers there, always looking for the initiative to attack. as we move further on down the battle line here, I'd just like to draw your attention to the cavalry that the enemy have got. See, they've got 6 cavalry there. Another 5 there. So what's that? That's 11 cavalry plus the Seleucid cavalry as well, which was another 6. So they've got something like 17, 18 cavalry units. Let's see how many cavalry we've got. Okay, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 13 heavy cavalry units there against about 17 or 18 enemy cavalry units. So the enemy have got a big cavalry advantage over us. And if we make any mistakes with our cavalry and we lose more cavalry, then of course that's going to hand the even more cavalry advantage to the enemy. So we have to be very careful how we use our cavalry. Maybe the enemy's cavalry numbers may make the difference towards the end of this battle. We'll just have to wait and see. But it should be an interesting one for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I just thought I'd give you a heads up on what our battle plan is. Our SBQ, our ally Crypto, is to face the enemy Rome Brutii there. Obviously, we don't want to suffer any pilot damages from enemy Roman troops here, so the plan is that Crypto's SBQR troops will face the enemy Brutii army there, so they can exchange pilots in a fair way. Okay, at this still very early stage of the battle here, you can see Scorpion King here looking to do a right flanking action here, trying to take out some of the enemy, some of our Balearic slingers there. Right, you notice Steve is charging forward with his 4 Sacred Band cavalry units here. Now, it looks to me like he's going to try and target the enemy archers, because obviously those archers have got a longer range than our Balearic slingers. Let's just pause again for a second. So that's what Steve's trying to do. He's trying to target the enemy archers here to try and take out the advantage of their long-range archers in comparison to our slingers' range. Okay, but the problem is he's in danger of being caught by this Seleucid heavy cavalry. Now, is it worth losing those 4 units to take out the enemy archers? I see Legion's taking his 2 fast-moving general units over there as well. So between them, they might have decided to try and take out the enemy archers. But let's hope they don't lose any of their cavalry. Remember, the enemy cavalry numbers are already superior to ours. And if we lose more of our cavalry here, then of course that's going to hand even more of a cavalry advantage to the enemy team. Okay, I see Steve and both Legion there moving their units in, trying to take out as many enemy archers as they can. So that's a nice aggressive move there by the both of them. But as I say, by losing those cavalry units, as I say, the enemy have already got quite a big cavalry advantage on us here. But by losing those cavalry units there, that's kind of giving the enemy even more of a cavalry advantage against us. Okay, so basically all of Steve's cavalry has now been routed. My guess is that some of his units will rally, but they will have been greatly depleted by that enemy action there. Can you see Steve still, he's got 1 unit that's rallied, is still charging into the enemy archers there. But as I say, basically Steve lost, I think, all 4 of his Sacred Band cavalry there. He did take out a lot of enemy archers, but as I say, through losing that cavalry now, we are at a real big cavalry disadvantage now, okay? But a lot of the enemy archers were taken out there by that action. Okay, just to show you now, we've just got Crypto's cavalry left and mine. So we've got 9 cavalry units now against, I think it was either 17 or 18 enemy cavalry. And remember that's Brutii cavalry. Remember, the general's fully upgraded and the rest of the cavalry there have got 8 upgrades on. Okay, they're all fresh, and Mad King's moved them out to the flank, ready to smash in. Well, actually move him out to the rear, ready to smash in when he's ready. Okay, so remember, we've only got 9 cavalry now, and the enemy have got 17 or 18 cavalry. Okay, so as I say, the enemy have got a big cavalry advantage over us, and as I say, towards the end of the battle, that may well make the difference. Okay, here you can see a lot of our Balearic slingers are shooting at, throwing slingshots at the enemy there, but of course the enemy archers do outrange our Balearic slingers. See, Steve has rallied some of his cavalry units that were routed, charged them into the archers again, trying to take out as many of those enemy archers as he can. So obviously him and Legion decided that was what they wanted to do, take out as many of the enemy archers as they could, and they've done a really good job at doing that, but they have lost their cavalry in the process of doing that. So as I say, it'll be interesting to see towards the end of the battle if that's going to make a difference. As I say, the enemy have got 17, 18 cavalry units against 9 of ours. So as I say, towards the end of the battle, that could actually really make the difference there. If you notice there, Crypto's moving his SBQR cavalry back so that his and my cavalry are close together, so we can use them in combined attack if we can. You can see Steve Longshanks' Balearic slingers there being shot at by archers, and there's some Seleucid cavalry moving towards them as well. Notice that Scorpion King keeps his cavalry in normal formation, not wedge, because they move a little bit faster and they cover more ground to try and, if you like, hoover up any Balearic slingers that they come across there, because they're in a wider formation there. But as I say, that Seleucid cavalry charging in, we got that Brutii cavalry menacingly stood behind us there, ready to charge in when ready. And those cavalry over there have got a lot better upgrades than us. So when they do smash in, we could be in real trouble there. I've got my 3 Balearic slingers there, shooting at the enemy as they move in, protected by Crypto's SBQR cavalry. But as I say, Scorpion King here doing a right flanking action there with his cavalry and infantry. As I say, always aggressive, always grabbing the initiative, always trying to make the enemy dance to his tune. And that's exactly what he's trying to do here on our right flank. Let's say those green Brutii well upgraded cavalry stood behind us as well as a bit of a menace and very much of a distraction for us as well, because not only have we got to watch what's happening in front of us, we have to watch what's happening behind us as well. And as I say, those are extremely well upgraded Brutii enemy cavalry in behind us. And with Scorpion King's infantry and cavalry doing a right flanking action, as you can see, really we've gone defensive. Our team has gone really defensive here, and if you go defensive, you can only react to the enemy team. Okay, so you kind of hand the initiative to the enemy, but that's basically, bearing in mind we've got 3 Carthage armies. I suppose that's what we're thinking, is just kind of try and go defensive and keep tight to each other, and we may well do quite well. But as I say, the enemy have got a massive cavalry advantage, and if used correctly, I think towards the end of the battle that could really make the difference there. You can see our team are all formed up really tight, close together. No one's isolated. So if anybody's hit hard, we're close enough to be able to support each other here. But as I say, we are in defensive mode, and that also obviously gives the initiative to the enemy. Right, here's I think one of the Legion's units there. Let's rally. There you go. Bang! Straight into the back of those enemy Cretan archers. Wouldn't surprise me if those Cretan archers routed there. Nice hit there by Legion's general armoured bodyguard unit there. Routed those. I think he's going to rout that 3rd Cretan archer unit as well. It wouldn't surprise me if that unit routed as well. Or maybe he might have to pull out, because I see there's a pike unit moving towards him. But he did rout 2 of those Cretan archers, those long-range Cretan archer units, with that cavalry unit. So well done to him there. If you notice here, Scorpion King's Seleucid army is being backed up by some Spartan units as well. If you notice here, Legion's turned to face the threat. Obviously Legion didn't want to get smashed into the flank by the enemy there, so he's actually turned to face the enemy head on with his Carthage Sacred Band army. And if you notice here, Scorpion King backed off from that. He didn't want any truck with taking on that Carthage army head on with his Seleucid troops. So let's say, newer players for Rome Total War, as you can see here, once you go defensive, that's all you can do is react to the enemy troops. By going defensive, you hand the initiative to the enemy. Sometimes you have to go defensive. It's the best tactical thing to do, but when you do, remember that you do hand the initiative to the enemy there. As I said before, the enemy have got a big cavalry advantage here. If you notice here, can you see I'm moving my Carthage Sacred Band over to integrate it with Crypto's SBQR army there? Because he's facing Macedon, but also where he really wants to face is those enemy Roman Brutii troops there, as we talked about earlier. Right, can you see the Seleucid cavalry still trying to jump in, take out our Balearic slingers? See that one unit, and bang! It smashes into those Balearic slingers. But that cavalry unit was very battle depleted. And I think Legion there out-attacked with his Balearic slingers there, and that unit's gone. But there's a larger, can you see that larger Seleucid cavalry unit coming in? Now I'm thinking with the weight of those troops hitting those battle damaged Balearic slingers, it's going to rout them. You can see that cavalry unit going in wide formation, and bang as it hits. See those Balearic slingers thrown up into the air with the impact of that cavalry charge there. So all those Balearic slingers have now just been taken out by that one Seleucid heavy cavalry unit there. So I say Scorpion King getting his archers around our flank to shoot into the rear of our rear or flank of our team there. Right, if you notice here, can you see that Crypto's decided to go aggressive now and has attacked, is moving towards the enemy Brutii infantry. Right, can you see I'm going to be aggressive as well? Can you see I'm moving my spearmen forward? I want to make contact with the enemy Macedon troops, which I've done. Okay, I've made contact, and then I'm going to put my spears down as I make contact. Okay, so I've made contact, bang, see my spears go down there. And now if you notice here, can you see Bark has left some units to face me head on, but he's taking units around the flank here. He's looking to come around the flank of my Carthage army. Let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so I'm fighting some of his units head on here, but he's moved the bulk of his army round to the left flank here, where he's probably looking to go into the flank, or even come around the rear and go into the rear of my Carthage army there. Okay, so that's a nice tactical move here. Notice I've got my Balearic slingers in close formation and my cavalry facing that green Brutii cavalry there if they attack. If you notice, there's that Seleucid cavalry in behind us as well. So we've got really well upgraded Seleucid and Brutii enemy cavalry in behind us. Okay. Here you can see Crypto and Steve Longshanks are both armies are integrated there, advancing towards the Greek cities. Mad King's Brutii army is just behind that. If you notice, Legion here is moving towards those Seleucid and Greek city troops there that are over on the right flank. Remember, he's got archers shooting into his flank all the time. Those Cretan archers and those Seleucid archers will be depleting those units there as they're being shot in the flank. So there's a general disposition of the battle at the moment. If you notice that Crypto's taking his SPQR cavalry round the flank of the Macedon infantry there, okay? So he's probably looking to smash into the rear of engaged enemy troops with his cavalry. But we need to use our cavalry smartly, because bearing in mind, as I say, we've only got 9 cavalry left against about 17 or 18 enemy cavalry, okay? So we need to be careful how we use our cavalry there. Okay, so as you can see here, my Carthage Sacred Band, I'm advancing further and further against, being very aggressive here into those Macedon pike units there. Right, can you see that? It's green Brutii cavalry moving over towards the rear of our troops. Okay, like we said, Bark is looking to move his Macedon pikemen in behind my Carthage Sacred Band there. Right, can you see that Brutii cavalry looking to attack my Carthage Sacred Band, and the cavalry charges in. I'm charging my cavalry to try and neutralise that attack, and bang, as both cavalry armies smash into each other there. Okay, I've got 3 Sacred Bands. Pause the game for a second. I've got 3 Sacred Band cavalry plus my Balearic slingers against those 6 really well upgraded Brutii cavalry, including the general, which will be giving those well upgraded cavalry general morale bonus as well. Meanwhile, here you can see that Bark is bringing his pike units around the flank and around the rear of my my Carthage army there, but you can see that Crypto's taking his cavalry out, maybe with a view to smash into the rear of those Macedon units there. You can see Crypto being a good teammate that he is, sending some SPQR units over to help me, but all the time Steve Longshanks and Crypto are advancing in on those Greek city units there. But over here you can see that Legion's a little bit well, not isolated, but he is a little bit of a depleted situation there, because a lot of his units have been battle depleted, and he's got enemy coming in on his flank as well as his front there. Okay, so you can see Bark running his Macedon units into the flank of my troops there. As I say, Crypto sent down some SPQR units there to help me against these Macedon units here, but you can see my Carthage Sacred Band cavalry at the back there fighting that Brutii cavalry. I'm surprised my cavalry's managed to hold so long against that enemy Brutii cavalry, bearing in mind the upgrades and that general Brutii unit there giving general morale bonus to those troops. I see some Macedon units have been run over as well, but Crypto sending in another SPQR unit over to help on this flank. Okay, right, can you see Crypto's SPQR cavalry coming in there, smashing into the rear of those Macedon units, and bang, as he smashes in, takes out the Macedon general. Now that was a surgical hit, make no mistake about that. Crypto went for that Macedon general there, because he knows Macedon morale is not very good. Take out the general, and you will have a lot of morale taken away from those Macedon units, and you could even get a mass rout. Right, can you see a lot of those Macedon units are starting to rout now? That was a really nice surgical hit by Crypto's cavalry. Right, can you see now I've upped my spears and I'm running my units over to help my teammates here. Let's just pause the game for a second. You can see enemy Seleucid cavalry have got in behind us, and they're smashing into the rear of our engaged troops. Okay, that heavy Seleucid cavalry of Scorpion King SR is smashing into the rear of our engaged troops here now. This could cause a mass rout. He's done a hammer and anvil attack. The enemy Greek cities are the anvil, and his cavalry are the hammer there. Okay, and meanwhile over on our right flank here, you can see that Legion has sent units off to fight enemy units that have come in at different angles. He's got units watching his rear there and that, because Greek cities got in behind him. But all the time, those enemy archers are shooting loads and loads of fire arrows into us. Remember, not just causing casualties, but lowering morale of our troops as well. Right, you can see those well-upgraded Brutii cavalry at the rear. Can you see Crypto's chasing them with his general unit there? But as I say, over here on the left flank, we've routed most of Bark's infantry there with a nice combination cavalry hit by Crypto and my Sacred Band there in a hammer and anvil attack there on those Macedon units. As I say, you can see I'm running my Carthage Sacred Band units over to help my allies there, smashing into the flank of those engaged enemy Greek city units there. Also, I'm going to throw some of my Carthage Sacred Band into attacking that enemy Brutii army that's coming down on us as well. As I want to engage them, I want to try and pin and hold them. I don't want that Brutii general being able to send his infantry units anywhere else on the battlefield. If I can hold and pin as many of those units as I can, that's what I want to do. See Mad King's cavalry, that well upgraded cavalry, bang, straight into the back. Remember, the Seleucid cavalry is already there, pressuring the rear of our engaged troop. There's some more Brutii cavalry coming in, and bang, as it smashes into the rear of our engaged infantry there. You can see a lot of our a lot of our allies' SBQR units starting to rout there, with the impact of the enemy cavalry in behind us. And that was a nice tactical hit there by the enemy, bringing that cavalry in behind. Remember what I said to you earlier? The enemy have got a big cavalry advantage, and they're making the most use of it here. And as I say, that could prove the tipping point of the battle here. As I'm moving my Carthage Sacred Band, as I say, I'm engaging the flank of the enemy troops that are engaging my allies, but I'm also attacking the Brutii cavalry there, infantry there as well. Right, you can see Crypto there with his SBQR infantry and cavalry units, going to bring them into the fray in a minute, I would think. But as I say, at the moment I can see a lot of our allies' units starting to rout here, with that massive attack coming in from the rear of those with those heavy enemy cavalry there. Meanwhile here, Legion's holding well against the enemy coming in from all angles. Can you see his units are being attacked from the rear, the flank and the front? So he's done well to hold as long as he can there. But the enemy are really coming in, and you can see that Macedon cavalry up behind us there. But as I say, those enemy archers all the way through the battle are shooting fire arrows into us all the time. And as I say, remember, that doesn't just cause casualties, but that lowers the morale of our troops as well, making them more susceptible to routing. As I say, there's so much going on all over the battlefield. It's kind of difficult to get everything in for you, but as I say, the main event here is you can see Crypto charging SBQR cavalry in there. And bang, is that cavalry charging there, trying to relieve the impact on the rear of our engaged troops there. Okay, can you see? I think it's Steve Longshanks' general has just been routed. Okay, Steve Longshanks' general has just been routed there. So of course, all that general morale bonus is now gone with his troops. You can see enemy Macedon troops coming in here, cavalry coming in with the rear of our troops here, engaging Crypto's cavalry, as well as that enemy Brutii cavalry as well, with those massive upgrades. So we've got Macedon and Brutii cavalry smashing into Crypto's SBQR cavalry there. And we're moving some of our Sacred Band spearmen over there to try and help as well. But meanwhile, over here on our right flank, you can see Legion's doing incredibly well, holding as long as he is. But can you see the Seleucid cavalry there moving in, smashing into the rear of some of his engaged troops? So I'm afraid that Crypto's troops there are quite surrounded there, and I don't know how long they're going to hold for. Right, can you see Crypto's SBQR cavalry came up here to take on that Macedon cavalry. The Macedon cavalry was running away, but it's now turned on them now. And if you notice that the Macedon cavalry outnumber the SBQR cavalry. Okay, the Seleucid general has just been routed, so that's good. We know Seleucid morale is not very good. If a general's been routed, that's good for our team here. But as you can see here, the Macedon cavalry and our SBQR allied cavalry there are fighting. Let's say Crypto's done well with the cavalry that he's got left. But as I say, the Seleucid general now has been routed, so that's good for our team. But over here, can you see a lot of legions, Carthage units are starting to rout. Okay, they're starting to, it wouldn't surprise me if they routed pretty quickly. Meanwhile, back in the center here, now remember here, the enemy are the green, okay, and the Greek cities, and we are Carthage. So just a glance there, you can see the number of Roman Brutii troops there against our Carthage sacred band. So straight away you can see the advantage in numbers there as well. So things not looking very good in the centre there. Can you see Crypto charging his battle damaged cavalry into those Brutii infantry? Nice hit by him there. If you notice, Steve Longshot is sending some spear units up to help Legion with the enemy troops there. We've got some an SBQR unit in behind the enemy troops there, but the Seleucid general's attacking that with his cavalry and has just routed that SBQR unit here. So as I say, remember the enemy are the green, the Seleucid and Greek cities. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see that the last of Legion's units that were surrounded there by Seleucid have now been routed. Okay, but if you notice here, remember Crypto's SBQR troops, and Steve, I think, has sent some spear units up here to deal with those Seleucid and Greek cities over on our right flank here. But you can see a lot of the Seleucid infantry now are just stood back there and ready to charge in. Okay, I can see several of our Carthage sacred band units have been routed. There's let's just pause again for a second. Right, so as you can see, a lot of our Carthage sacred band have now been routed by the enemy Brutii Roman troops there. Okay, so just at a glance there, you can see the numbers there, and those Seleucid troops there, look, ready to charge in into the rear and flank of our engaged troops there, which is what Scorpion King is doing. Okay, don't forget those archers, as I said earlier, are shooting into us all the time with those fire arrows, not just causing casualties but lowering our morale, making us more susceptible to routing. Okay, now this is a nice move here by Mad King, that taking his infantry round the rear of our engaged troops. Okay, why, we've talked about this in other battle videos, why try and smash down a barricaded front door where if you go around the back you might find the back door open, if you see what I mean. That's a nice little move there by Mad King, moving his Brutii infantry around the rear. Right, you can see another couple of, right, my general's just been routed. Okay, and I've lost another two Carthage sacred band units as well. So with my general routing, of course, that's going to take morale away from my troops. We've got enemy Seleucid infantry charging as well. But if you notice here, can you see Crypto's bringing some of his SBQR infantry down, and Steve's bringing some of his sacred band units down here on our right flank to engage the enemy. But see the volume of fire arrows going into the rear of our troops, causing, I can't tell you how, you can't just underestimate the damage that those fire arrows do to our troops there. The amount of morale they sap from us and the casualties that they cause. Can you see more of our sacred band units are now routing with the pressure here from those enemy Brutii troops. Nice little move here by Crypto, bringing some SBQR infantry around the flank, probably going to charge into the rear or flank of those enemy Brutii troops. As I say, Mad King took some Brutii units round there as well, got into the rear and flank of our engaged troops as well. Nice tactical move there by a lot of the players in this game. See that Macedon cavalry going in, bang, charged into those engaged SBQR troops. So, but see the volume of fire arrows coming into us there. Right, as I say, some nice movement there by the Brutii general there, taking around the flank, going into the rear of our tired troops there. But if you notice, the enemy had a massive cavalry advantage there, but somehow we've managed to neutralise that cavalry advantage, because I just see some battle damaged Macedon cavalry moving around the battlefield now. So we've done well to neutralise the big cavalry advantage that they had there. Okay, can you see still a lot of our sacred band units are starting to rout here, but we're being aggressive with our sacred band units, moving them forward into the enemy ranks, taking the battle to the enemy here. But as you can see, a lot of our units are still being routed here. Crypto's got, I think it's 3 men left in his general unit, so he's still giving general morale bonus to our troops, which is good. There's a close-up of the fight in there. I think it's only Crypto's general that's left for our team. He's the only general left, so he's the only one giving us morale bonus. If he goes down, we've got no general morale bonus at all. As I say, the enemy archers here have been mercilessly pounding us with those fire arrows, shooting into us all the time. If you notice here, the Cretan archers have run out of arrows, so they've now been alt-attacked with their daggers out, ready to attack. As you can see here, enemy Seleucid infantry are in behind us as well. So things not looking very good for our team at the moment. Remember, the green and the Seleucid and the Greek cities are the enemy, and we are the purple and Carthage. Okay, so just at a glance there, you can see our SPQ, our purple ally, and our Carthage armies there. Can you see 2 more of our Sacred Band units routed? 3 more of our Sacred Band units are routed now. It's only going to be a matter of time maybe before we start to mass rout here again, under the pressure of those Brutii, enemy Brutii infantry, as I say, plus those fire arrows coming in on us as well. A lot of pressure here on our tired Sacred Band. And there's a couple of Sacred Band units just routed as well. As I say, never underestimate the power of fire arrows coming in on us all the time. Right, can you see now we're basically surrounded there by those enemy Brutii troops that got behind us, and the Seleucid infantry as well. Can you see here though that Mad King's taken a couple of his infantry units away, chasing down routed units there, which has enabled us to take out the other enemy units that were attacking us. He has now turned those 2 Brutii units in against us there, but we now can turn our entire infantry that we've got left onto those 2 Brutii units because we've routed the other units that were there. Also, can you see those fire arrows are coming in now? Now, if any of those fire arrows drop short, they'll go into the back of their own troops, and that will panic their own troops there with fire arrows hitting them. Okay? So now we're now pushing forward with our Sacred Band into the remainder of those Brutii infantry there. And it looks like our team has managed to rout the enemy troops there. You can still see they've still got archers shooting into us at the moment, but infantry and cavalry wise, it looks like we've managed to take out all their infantry and cavalry, and they've just got some archer units left. Just pause the game for a second. I just want to show you the intensity of this battle from one flank to the other. Over on the right flank here, remember where the Seleucid Scorpion King Seleucid, with backed up by some Spartan units there, was really aggressive against Legion 22's infantry over there on that flank. So you can see the piles of dead there. And then if we move over into the central area, and this is really where the fighting was most intense here. And if you just go through, you can see the piles of dead, just to show how intense the fighting was in this particular part of the battlefield there. If we go right over to the other flank, you can see all the piles of dead there from one side to the other there. Just goes to show the ferocity and the intensity of this battle from one flank to the other. And I tell you what, with the cavalry advantage the enemy team had, I was really surprised that we managed to turn this battle around here. There's the last archer unit there attacking the SPQR unit as they crash in there. See, the archers have got their daggers out there fighting that SPQR infantry unit, and it's just been routed there. So our team has managed to win there. See, one unit, I had 6 men in one unit there. Okay, as you see, it was a close victory, which I guess we all guessed it would be a close victory there. So really well done to everybody in the game. Just like to draw your attention to Crypto's kills. 2,068, so really well done to Crypto there. I noticed his teamwork was absolutely fantastic. He was all over the place with his SPQR infantry and cavalry, helping his teammates out everywhere, so really well done. Notice Mad King as well, 1,891, so he got the second highest kills. But I'd also like to draw your attention to the enemy kills. Can you see that Scorpion King and Trajan got the 3rd and 4th? So the enemy got the 2nd, 3rd and 4th highest kills in the game. But we still managed to just about scrape a win there. So, but it's interesting to see, as I say, they got the 2nd, 3rd and 4th highest kills in the game there, the enemy team. So really well done to them. And as I say, we just about managed to scrape in there. That old army of mine didn't do too badly there. So I thought it was interesting to see 3 Carthage armies there fighting side by side. I just thought that was quite interesting. You don't see that very often. But I would like to say really well played to Scorpion King SR, really well played to Brotherhood members Mad King, Trajan and Bark. Really well played, guys. Nice aggressive attacking by you guys, and some really good moves, some good tactical moves there by you. How we managed to neutralise the cavalry advantage you had, I'm not really sure, but we did manage to do that. And also I'd like to say really well played to Steve Longshanks, Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, Brotherhood member Legion 22, and Brotherhood member Crypto. Really well played, guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching this close battle. We did snatch victory from the jaws of defeat yet again.